I assume many of you have heard the phrase, do not judge a book by its cover. I personally have been annoyed by that phrase quite a few times throughout my life. However, in this case, it actually is true. So Block has, if you just look at the chart, 5-year performance, basically flat, up 17.5%. The PE ratio is high, and you're just sitting here like, how could anyone want to invest in this, right? Well, let's look at the 10-year. Well, it IPO'd in 2015. It's up 461% over that time period. So it's done very well. The S&P 500's gone up about 225%. Add a little bit on for the dividend payment, maybe let's say 275. It's still way outperformed it, right? So, and then you're like, well, what about the PE ratio? Let's take a peek at forward PE. Forward PE is at 20. That's probably below S&P 500 forward PE, right? Because the S&P 500 is about 26 PE. So if you take the forward PE, that's what, let's just say 22, 23. So you're actually sitting pretty good here. You can see all the estimates are above what were this year and actually what were hit this year as well too, especially in Q3 and Q4, right? That's significantly above it. One thing I also see looking at this, so, I mean, clearly from this chart, it just did crazy during COVID. But if we're talking outside of that as a buy today, I mean, you see the revenue increase 3.8, 4.1, 4, 4.4, 4.5, 4. You're just getting consistent growth, right? You just are. So I'm assuming most of you know what Square does, but they own Cash App, right? But not just Cash App. They also own the Square segment. Does commerce products for restaurants, appointments, retail, online checkout, all that sort of stuff, right? There's a bunch of, they help businesses with stuff. And that's really what I'm interested in, specifically the subscription portion of that sort of thing. They do good margins on that. Subscriptions they usually do, but I think it's like 81% margins on that. So it's very, very good. I like it. Like I said, I like the consistent revenue growth. This is a company. I mean, you ignore this. This was scary. This is not good. If you're watching this and you have money tied in from up there, I'm assuming you're still holding long term. So I mean, you just got to factor in, what would I do with my money? Would I buy this company today? Personally, I wouldn't mind buying this company now. I wouldn't buy a whole bunch. I wouldn't go super overboard, although I wouldn't recommend that for any stock, right? But me personally, what I would do, this is not investment advice. What I would do, I would consider buying this stock for a number of reasons. One, I don't own a lot in this specific space. I own retail itself. Like I own TJX. I own, why am I blanking? I own Lowe's. I own Home Depot. I know that's more home building stuff, but Kroger. I own some retail stuff. However, this specific portion of it, I do not own anything for. So for me personally, it would be diversification. Like I said, I think this is sneakily decently valued. I think it really is. And like I said, it's been running flat since 2022. So you've just been getting that revenue growth over this time frame, and that revenue growth over this time frame, and you haven't seen a price increase in it. Now you could say it was overvalued then, and that may be true. But still, Schwab absolutely hates it for some reason. 92 percentile ranking. They think it's not going to do well at all. I disagree. I usually think Schwab does fairly well, although in this case, I certainly disagree. You get a 4-star rating there, narrow rating. I hate the 0, 3, 10 scaling. I'd probably do narrow instead of wide, but I'd rather give it a 5 or a 6 maybe even. Certainly a 5. You get a buy, you get a long, you get a buy, a bad ESG score, whatever your opinion is on that. But yeah, this is what I see personally. If you're factoring the full 10-year story, there's a company, they've been doing well. If you, from IPO to now, they obviously did very, very, very good during COVID. That is not something you're going to see. I mean, it does put a damper on it. And honestly, really since 2018, you've seen it go flat. But I think a lot of that is just overvalue into it, overhype into it. and people are still remembering it. So I'm sure quite a few people got burnt on the stock and have really icky feeling towards it. But if you're new, you've never had that sort of thing like I have. I did not get in this. I've never owned this stock. I've never, held my feet to the fire here. But I really, as of today, November 1st, 2024, assuming there's no massive run or fall off or news going along with this company, this is something you should look at. It really is. It's definitely not in a bad scenario. Like I said, sneakily, it has been improving revenue over years and years and years. If you look here as well, sneakily increasing assets, total assets, of course, debt as well. But I mean, total assets is 7x, current assets is 5x. No, that's 6x. I mean, debt has 5x, but still, this is a company that is sneakily doing well. Now, they aren't huge, right? 44.5 billion, but still. Anyways, I feel like I've been going on long enough. I personally, do I own the stock? No. Am I going to buy it soon? I might. Don't know yet. I usually throw money in every couple of months, but I definitely am not opposed to this company. I think in the long term, if you're patient with it, this may perform well. Who knows? Maybe even in the short term, although I cannot predict. Certainly short term, I never try to. This PE ratio and this 5-year performance does not tell the full story. You have to look a little bit, past the cover on this one, so to say. But anyways, if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate it if you would leave a like, if you enjoyed it. If you want to see similar content, I do all sorts of stocks on this channel. I do it daily, so I'd appreciate if you did enjoy this and want to see more, if you subscribe and continue to watch my content. But anyways, I appreciate all of you for watching this video, and I'll see you later.